Now this is a small dairy farm that I've got permission to shoot over, and the cattle shed I'm in is where the dairy cows are kept and fed, and the jackdaws and magpies as well as starlings like coming into the shed and picking through the silage set out for the cattle, looking for pieces of meal that's been mixed up in with it. That's really to benefit the cattle and not the birds, so the farmer likes me to come down and try and red up a few birds. It's fairly dark and gloomy, but it suits the little ATN Shot Trak camera quite well. For all the size of the lens on it, it still seems to get quite a good picture in such a gloomy area. The only one thing with the Shot Trak, it takes a good maybe 3-4 seconds for it to start recording after you've flipped the switch, so you need to be a little patient before you take the shot, as you can have the bird shot before the camera actually starts recording if you're writing quick on it. The jackdaws like to sit in the silo wall just outside the door there before they decide to come into the shed. When they usually come in, they like sitting up on the water pipes that have been strung up high so the cattle can't get at them to chew and pull at them, which usually gives you a fairly safe shot above the cattle. I went for a headshot as I had the time to do it, but when the bird dropped I noticed it was still moving around among the cattle, so I went forward and lifted it and dispatched it, as there was no point in suffering. Before long I got another opportunity. The birds can take their time coming in. They like sitting in the doorway and assessing whether or not it's safe before they venture on in. I couldn't get a shot at the magpie that just landed, even though he only was about 15-20 yards away, as there was too many cows in the way. And as you can see, even the birds in the doorway weren't a safe shot either, as this beast liked sticking her head up in front of me. But eventually patience paid off and a bird landed on a safe spot to shoot. After a bit more of a wait, another jackdaw came in through the door, giving me another good opportunity. The ranges I'm shooting are only about 25 yards here, and I go for a heart and lung shot. I've been watching this jackdaw for a good while now. I'm actually hoping that he will come into the shed so I can drop him out of sight from the birds outside. But it's not to be, and he flies just outside the door and lands on the silo wall. So I decided a bird in hand is worth two in the bush, and took a nice 35-yard shot at him. This sort of scattered the rest of the birds. So I decided to call it an afternoon. I know I shot 4, but I could only manage rounding up 2 of the birds a shot, as the rest of them, well, the cattle have got a tendency to trump them into the clabber and they're hard to find. But the 2 I had was literally generously donated to the local farm cats, who enjoyed them greatly.